Do you want to learn how to grow your business, make more money, and save a lot of time? Keep watching to learn how you can use the concept of flywheels in order to elevate and take your business to the next level. After I first heard about the concept of flywheels, I was very much intrigued to learn more about this concept. The concept in itself seemed very obvious. It just seemed like kind of like duh, but I have never heard this concept before. I've never heard the term flywheels when it refers to business, so I was immediately intrigued. I went on a whole journey to learn so much about the concept of flywheels and how I can apply it to my businesses and how I can help also teach this concept to other people, because it's not a concept I hear a lot of people talking about, but it seems to be the core factor in a lot of highly successful businesses. So again, if you want to learn more about flywheels and the concept and pretty much everything that I've been learning and how this concept can help grow your business, then let's get to it. In the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, he suggests that every large successful business is run by some sort of flywheels, and even goes as far to say that super successful businesses such as Amazon, Apple, Intel, Vanguard, all these Fortune 500 companies are run by flywheels, and they also have flywheels within their flywheels, and that's how they're able to keep growing and just keep becoming these massive, huge companies that we all know them to be today. These large businesses take their separate business activities and tasks that they need to be working on, and they turn each of those separate activities into flywheels that then keep spinning, and then in that sense their business keeps growing and then it keeps accelerating. So that's the basic concept of a flywheel, especially when it comes to these bigger companies. It's something that if you keep doing it and you just keep working at it, it will produce more and more of an outcome that will then feed in as an income. Now I know that sounds a little complicated, so let's try and break it down and let's talk about what is a flywheel. A flywheel for your business is something that's going to build momentum. It's something that kind of uses kinetic energy and kind of builds off of the last thing. So every step within a flywheel is going to kind of just naturally make sense. Like the first thing is going to go right into the second thing, right into the third thing. Ideally, you want to have around 5 to 6 different items on your flywheel that feed into each other. Now, since these steps are all feeding into each other, the concepts then is kind of what's keeping the wheel spinning. So say you're a content creator here on YouTube like myself, and I'm trying to now create a flywheel for my channel and implement these steps. So I will be doing a flywheel method, hopefully going forward for the rest of 2024, and see how that will help my channel grow in the way that I want it to grow. So as a content creator, it's very important that I or you or anyone else creates a flywheel that helps you create content, right? Because you have to create content. As a content creator, you don't have time for time blocks or, you know, procrastinations or things that kind of waste time, or even time to sit around and think, okay, what should I record today? So in that instance, you could create a flywheel that feeds itself and spins and kind of spits out more content ideas in order for you to then create content. So when you have on your calendar, hey, maybe Monday and Fridays, those are my content days, I'm gonna sit down to create content. You don't wanna then at that point be sitting there wondering, what should I create content at? Because then that will be a bottleneck in your process. That will stop you, that might not let you meet the deadline that you've now set for your videos. So if you wanna post once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and then when you sit down to record, you don't have any ideas, that will be a bottleneck, and that will stop your flywheel from spinning, right? Like if you don't put in the content to get the flywheel going, then there is no flywheel. So that might be your first step in the flywheel, but that first step is just as important as every other step. So the concept of a flywheel, every step within it has to be just as important. So the more you feed any step, the more the wheel spins, the faster the wheel spins, and the more output you get. So then the more output you get, the more input you get, right? So the basic concept of this flywheel is to get it spinning, and once it's spinning, it gets easier and easier to spin. So in terms of content, like I said, so you want to have content ideas ready. So something you might want to start out with is, okay, I'm going to create content. But now once you create that content, make sure within that content or something, maybe on an afterthought in the comments, something you want to maybe ask the people watching your videos, 1, what they liked about the video, 2, something else that they would have loved for you to have touched upon, or maybe a different concept within the same niche that you that they want advice on or something like that. So in order to ask those type of questions, get people engaged would be a very important step within this flywheel. You get people engaged. One, that's gonna boost the views, right? That's gonna boost the views on your video. It's gonna get YouTube to share your video more. So again, from that first step to the second step, that's just a natural progression. You're gonna create the video. Within that video, you're gonna have action items for the people watching that video, such as, you know, comment down below for other ideas you want me to talk about. Something like that, that gets people going and gets people commenting. And then in turn, again, right? So now we're moving on. The wheel is spinning. So then in turn, people are commenting. YouTube will then share your video more because it has higher engagement. And then on top of that, you now have all these comments that you can now start saving in some kind of database, some kind of spreadsheet or whatever, which will all give you ideas of how to make more content. Right? So stick with me. So now you have that list, YouTube is pushing your video. So then that will help you get more eyes on said video, and then in turn more eyes on your channel, and then those eyes will turn to more subscribers, and those subscribers will help you make more content through that flywheel. Do you see how that would work? So that is how you can do a flywheel for your channel and just create content and have it spit out more content ideas so that you can have a schedule of, say, Monday through Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever, if you want to spit out 3 videos a week. Me personally, I'm creating this flywheel. Like I said, I want to do these videos as Mondays, Money Mondays, something along that line. I do want to make a little catchphrase. I did not start this video like that, so look out for the second video in this series. I will definitely be using some kind of catchphrase. I'm thinking Money Mondays. It just makes sense. I think I'm going to post these videos every Monday. Let's talk about business. I just want to kind of address business concepts, right? So again, if you have any business things that you do want to talk about, leave me a comment down below. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. What's another business concept? Maybe you've heard the keyword here and there, you don't know much about it, something like flywheels. For me, I'm the type of person, when I hear about a concept and I haven't heard much about it, I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna hear what other people have to say about it. I'm gonna hear how other people are implementing it within their own business to see if this is something that will actually be useful to me in my business. So back to the flywheel. So with every flywheel, you wanna have like a core goal to it, right? Like most people's goal would be to, you know, either like gain more customers or gain higher income, or, you know, whatever your main goal is. So for me, for my channel, my main goal is to have more views per video. That is what I want to go for. I want to have a lot of views per video per month, right? Right now my views are pretty average. I'm getting around like 100 views per video over the whole course of a month. So I want to increase that. My goal, 1,000, but hopefully, you know, again, you can readjust the goals as time goes on. So right now I'm going for having more of an average of 1,000 views per video. So I want to implement this flywheel and see how it goes for me. So that is my main goal for my flywheel. So what are some of your main goals in your business that you've been trying to hit? Think about that. Think about how you can implement a flywheel around that process where it will spit out a lot of output that is the same thing that you need for input. So for every flywheel, there are 3 driving factors that are needed in order to get the wheel spinning and keep the wheel spinning. The first factor is force. So in this term, force is something that you would put in to get the wheel spinning and keep the wheel spinning. So in my example of how I want to do content and get more views, the driving force behind that would actually be me physically creating these videos and putting them out on YouTube. If I do not create these videos and I do not create the content and I do not post them as I say I will, the flywheel completely falls apart. There is no flywheel if I do not put force behind it. So my force will be putting out these videos, which if I don't do that, there will be no flywheel. Another factor to the flywheel is friction. As opposed to force, friction would be anything that kind of slows down the flywheel. Now you want to identify any points of friction within your flywheel so that way they can be addressed. You don't want friction. Friction, you know, will cause the flywheel to slow down. Some friction might be the quality of my video, right? So this is my first video I am putting out on this series. I am just standing up. There's a white background. There's not much going on here. This is not my ideal setup. So again, that might be something friction-wise, like someone might click on my video. They might not like the ideal setup. There might be something that gets them just to immediately click off my video. So again, that would be like a point of friction. That's something I would have to figure out a way to identify friction within my flywheel and then address them so that my flywheel can keep spinning at the pace that I need it to spin and keep gaining momentum. The last driving factor to a flywheel is weight. So weight is the amount of input that's coming in / the output that's coming out to help the input. So that would be the weight. In my flywheel that I've discussed in content creation, the weight of that again will be the viewers. The amount of people that are coming to view my channel is what we would define as weight. So obviously the more viewers I get, the faster my flywheel will spin. That's just how it works. So the more weight, the faster it goes. The less weight, then it's slowing down. So if I can get more eyes on my channel, more people to comment, YouTube will push it out more, I will get more views. And then those more views will lead to more subscribers. Then with more subscribers, I can create more content and then more views, and YouTube pushes it more, and so forth and so forth and so forth, right? So that is how that flywheel would work. So in order for any flywheel to work, there are 3 factors that need to be met in order for things to just keep moving smoothly and keep gaining momentum and keep that flywheel spinning. The first one is that the activities must flow smoothly one into the other. I kind of discussed this already earlier. The next step in your flywheel must make complete sense with the previous step. It must really be like a duh moment. It must be, okay, I did this, so naturally this comes next, right? Like I keep going back to my example. I made content, people watched it, people commented, so people are engaging. I made content, so obviously now people are watching it. Okay, people watched it, then they want to engage with it, like naturally, right? So now people are engaging with it, naturally YouTube's gonna push that more. So like, you know, the next step, it just naturally flows. You have to have a wheel that naturally flows. The next criteria is that each next step is also easier than the last, right? Not only do they have to smoothly flow into one another, they also kind of have to get easier with time. That's how the wheel is gonna get spinning, is gonna gain momentum. The next step has to naturally be easier. In my flywheel, the hardest step is creating the content. That to me is the hardest step at this point. Actually physically recording, editing it, and making sure I get it posted on the internet. Now the rest kind of get easier from there. Okay, now people are gonna engage. I don't have to do much, you know, like that is easier. And then YouTube is gonna push it. That's again, easier, but makes sense. Like it's getting easier and easier. There's not much I have to do physically for all the following steps. Like, yeah, you know, I want to, like when people are engaging in that next step, I want to engage back. But then now that I'm engaging back with people, the next step is for YouTube to push my video. I have to do even less for that step, right? So it all kind of makes sense that the next step is a lot easier than the previous. The last criteria is also that each rotation produces more than the previous rotation. So each time you complete a spin of the wheel, you should get more of an output than the last time. And again, those output would then be your input. So the first one, you know, you might get one idea when you spin that wheel the first time, but that one idea and one subscriber or whatever, you know, will feed back into your wheel, and then that might spit out 2 ideas next time, right? And then maybe 2 or 3 new subscribers from that. And then again, so forth and so forth. The number should increase every time because those people are helping your engagement go up. They're giving you more ideas because there's more people involved, and so forth and so forth. So with each rotation of the wheel, the process should get easier. The process should get smoother. The process should have more of an output. So if you keep at it with your flywheel and you keep maintaining it and maintaining it again, that means you're just doing that action, that force, and that is needed in order for it to go. If you keep at that, your flywheel should get better and faster over time. It should be able to produce a higher volume over time. So if you start a flywheel today, within a year from now, that flywheel should be producing you way more than it will produce you now in this first month of trying out that flywheel. So do you have a flywheel right now, or are you thinking of a flywheel and you're wondering, is this a good flywheel? So there are certain questions that I would ask just to kind of make sure that your flywheel is, you know, smooth, easy, and effective. Some of those questions that I would ask are, what is the most sensible order of tasks? Which tasks naturally flow into the next? How can we make transition or transitioning between tasks even easier? And what steps or tasks do we have now that we can break down into even smaller steps. So those are some questions right there that you can think about. See if those apply. See if you have anything within your business right now or your content creation journey where you can take and apply and kind of make a flywheel. I want to challenge you guys to make your own flywheels, and let's do this together. Let's see if we can implement some flywheels for 2024 and see where this takes us. It's already halfway through. We're already almost through Q2. So I'm seeing how Q3 and Q4 will really go with implementing flywheels and sticking with them. So if that's something that's really interesting to you, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But before you go, I want to ask you guys, what are some of your biggest struggles in business? What is something that you're struggling with that you might want help or, you know, might need some advice on? That would be free. I am starting a business consulting service, so if you want to schedule a one-on-one call with me, the link will be down below in the description, so you can click on the Calendly and make an appointment on my calendar, or you can always leave me a comment down below. I will be answering to every single comment that is left on this video. I really want to make sure I get you guys' questions answered. I have been looking into flywheels. Like I said, every video about flywheels I found was being explained by one type of specific person. There wasn't that many videos in the first place for podcasts or anything. There's not a lot of information out there to be shared, but all the people who are sharing the information kind of have one look to them. So I just figured I could help spread this information to different communities, aka my community, and the people who want to learn business from other people that do not look all the same, because it's a hard world out here. I am a mother of two, and it is not easy, and running businesses as a parent is not easy. So just having systems is something that I found that works, and flywheels seems to be the ultimate system. And I think flywheels will be able to really help me elevate my business and my income to the next level, and I'm really looking forward to this journey. So make sure you leave me some comment down below about your journey in business. What are some concepts that you've heard about lately that you would like me to discuss, make a video on? I will be commenting back to every comment, so make sure you leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this helpful, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys down in the comments. Bye.